Welcome to MamaTokTok's A Different Take, a podcast where everyday people around the globe share a different take on everyday issues. I'm your host, Abi Mambo, and I'm pleased you're joining us today. Welcome.
Hi, Jor.
Hi, doll.
You don't know how thrilled I am to have you on this show. When I started thinking of MamaTokTok, you're one of the first people that I thought, gosh, your story is so amazing. I need to have you on this show. But when you're talking about what we're about to talk about, right,
Yeah.
you have to find the right time and the right place and the right spirit place to be in, to be here. And so we've made it happen, and we are going to have a chance to really go deep.
Yeah.
And I've been telling my listeners and my viewers that I wanted to give them a little love something. We always like a little love, right? But I wanted to give it a
Oh,
little,
love goes all the way.
yeah. And so, and so this is part of that series on love, loss, and finding ourselves again. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you're part of that because, first of all, you give me all kinds of energy. I literally, I had to dress up today, like, oh my goodness,
Amen. Girl, when it
because
comes
you,
to when it comes to stuff like this, you know, and I know we need to get Gucci'd up, Chanelized. It needs to rain Louis Vuitton. And when you wake up in the morning, you need to make people know that when they see you in the evening somewhere out, standing out there and men are turning around and going, Holy Moses, smell the roses. That is exactly how you wake up in the morning. You can get
I woke up
right
with,
on the clock 24/7.
oh my gosh, you're already so crazy. I love it, love it, love it. Although I will change the Gucci nice and all that to some more diverse label, we gotta put in some different African labels in there, you know. But I mean, I'm definitely representing, right? I mean, my very deep
Amen.
skirt, and are you wearing Afri too?
Yes,
Are
I
you wearing
am. Mama talked all the way. What more? Thank you, Mother
rocking it,
Africa. Bring it, bring it, bring it.
rocking it, rocking it? So as everybody can already see, we're off to a crazy start here with George. But so let me. I always let my guests. I invite my guests to introduce themselves. But I want to say
Yeah,
a little blurb first on you because you and I go back
way
when I
back.
was 10 years old, right? And we're three
Yeah.
weeks apart. We started at Low Secondary School in Bamenda
Mhm.
together. And we're in the same class for many years. And we just, you moved to the UK, I moved to the US. And all these years later, we're still there, we're still vibing. And one of the most important pivotal points in your life is what we're going to talk about today. I was there. And so, Jor, before we even talk about that, just tell the audience who you are in your own words.
Well, I'm Georgette, very unique. I am Cameroonian, born of Cameroonian parents in Yaoundé, the capital city.
Mhm.
I went to Lords in Bamenda, which is a boarding school, I think about 8 hours drive from Yaoundé. And I was absolutely recalcitrant while I was there because I did not like it.
Yes,
Not
you
at all.
were.
You can tell I'm not one to play by the rules. I make my own rules. I called myself captain of my own ship. So it took me forever to understand why I had to go to some school where I'm being told to wake up at 5 a.m. Like, seriously, who wakes up at 5 a.m.? Wake up at 5 a.m. and start doing stuff. So besides that, there was the cold, and also because I had no immediate family in that part of Cameroon. Being born and raised in Yaoundé, the capital city, I had a different upbringing and lifestyle.
Yes.
I'm the only girl. I've got four brothers,
Don't just call you the only
and
girl. You were the princess, the diva, the queen of the family. And you're the apple of your
I was
father's
daddy's
eye.
queen. I was daddy's everything.
And which
So
made me think you were the apple of everybody's eye because you're the apple of your daddy's eye. You didn't quite know the difference between like dad and the rest of the world. You're like, look, I'm a queen at home. I know what you mean. I'm a queen here too.
yeah, so it was different. coming from a home where I'm literally worshipped. I remember someday I used to wake up in the morning and tell my dad I wanted a new pair of shoes. And I remember for my birthday, my dad, I think it was my eighth or ninth birthday, my dad actually drove from Yaoundé to Idea to get me a pair of shoes. So then I turn up in Lords and I'm told, no, you can't have it your way. I'm like, excuse you. My dad
What do
said,
you mean?
yeah, the world is my oyster. I can do what I want, be what I want, and I should not be scared to speak up. But in Lottie was a whole other story. That if you dare speak up, they're like, where the Jesus have you come from?
Yeah,
So that, yeah, that training in Lords, it was harsh. I found it really difficult to find my voice
I
and
know.
my place. And I obviously got definitely marked out as the really recalcitrant and stubborn one.
Mhm.
Later in the years, though, obviously, I started growing because growth comes in, whether or not you like it. And I realized, well, if you can't beat them, beat them. So I joined. I tried to become the holy girl and go to mass at 5 a.m. and not
Wait, I don't
complain.
remember
And
that. There was never you being the holy girl. Child, I do not remember this nonsense. What are you
I
talking
tried in my own level. I'm not saying by normal standards. That girl, no way. You know, I've always been different. I was born
do
to
you
be
see this whole
different.
side profile I'm giving you right now?
That's a whole other story. But yeah, I tried. So I try to, blend in. And the good thing I take out of Lords is, the likes of you. How many years later? 22 years later, and we're
Yeah,
still riding. I mean, you and I we've literally gone across the world,
we
you know.
have.
So, yeah,
In
that's
our
the one
great
thing I
times
took
and
from.
our worst times, we've toured Europe together. Remember that vacation in Greece? In
Yeah,
Santorini, with me, you were daily.
yeah,
Heart.
we've toured the world, you and I. We have tried. We've gone. I think we did Mexico. We did Europe. I can't.
We did Mexico. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah,
We did
we did
Mexico.
Mexico, girl.
And
It
I
was.
joined
Oh,
Mexico on a complete whim. I remember it was you
yeah,
and Lisa coming through, and you guys called me, and I was like, I'm there. Why
that's
not?
it. And amen. Did you answer that call? And did
Because
you
you know,
appear? Girl, did you
I was going
represent?
through some things. I was going through some things in my
Yeah,
own
I remember.
situation. So
Mm. It was
I needed
it
a
was
moment to
great for
exhale.
that
So
girl. Yeah, that girl's time away. We just it was great. It was good. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so I left Cameroon, I think coming up to, wow, 18 years now. I left Cameroon, came to the UK. Again, no family in the UK. So my friends, Lisa, university friends, fast became my second family. Like every other immigrant student out here, you just have to hustle. So you're going to school and you're doing that summertime job to earn some coins on the side. And someone like me with the very big eyes who's just
yeah,
called designer crazy, I was like, look, I need to wrap this up real quick and find myself a really good job and get going because at the end of the day, things are changing out here. And I fast became my own person. I am self-made today. I cannot, for the life
yeah,
of me, still figure out exactly how that happened. I mean, at the time, I just knew, get on with it. The daddy's not here anymore. You cannot turn
yeah,
to mom, for money. Get on with it. And I hustled. I put my back down. I worked hard, and yeah, and here I am today. I have been fortunate and privileged enough to be able to travel the world. There are a lot of people who, for one reason or the other, they have different priorities, but I have had the privilege and that luck to be able to
absolutely.
do both, work, traveling for work, traveling for pleasure. It's been absolutely amazing. And what a fantastic way to open me up to, the world. They say
Yeah,
travel is knowledge. And yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I've learned.
Joie de vivre. It's as if
Oh,
life
thank
owes it
you.
to you and gonna give it to you, right? And if it doesn't give it
Yeah.
to you, you're gonna take it.
Yeah.
Which is why, when you asked me to be a maid of honor, I could not say no. It had been this kind of amazing road to that place during the engagement. And you, first of all, Georgette is one of the best dressers I know. So when I'm promoting this
Amen.
episode, But you have to put your pictures out so people can really see, like, you are your own person, you're self-confident, you're sexy, you just know how to put that and look together.
Thank
But anyway,
you.
I say all that to say I was ready. I had bought my ticket for the wedding. And I remember I was in bed and it was a wee hours of the morning on December 5th or so. And I remember that because we had a birthday in the family the day before. I went to bed
Mhm.
exhausted. In the middle of the night, like I don't know, it was like 4 or 5 o'clock my time. My phone rings, and usually I don't even hear it, but it went buzz, 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 buzz. Like, what is going on? I picked up the phone, and it was you. And I thought, uh oh, I'm supposed to
Yeah.
be on a plane to Cameroon in a few weeks for this wedding. And a lot of the other bridesmaids who were from abroad had been there, and you were already in Cameroon. So
Yeah.
when I picked up that phone with bated breath, I was waiting. What happened?
Time bomb. Wow. That's what 7 years ago. Well, almost 7 years ago. Is still. I'm very sure I can remember every beat of it because it was one hell of a journey. So yeah, I rang you up December 5th. It must have been wee hours of the morning your time. It was already almost midday in Cameroon at the time. Things had happened overnight. I have to tell you right now, when I was sitting down and making that call, I was very, very conscious of the broken glasses around me, just making sure that I don't step on any and hurt myself even further. So, as you would know, I'd been engaged for 2 years. Yeah, because we started our relationship in December, was it? No, January 2010.
Mhm.
And March 2011, he proposed. And obviously, because of our circumstances at the time, I was in the UK, he was in Cameroon, although obviously that Cameroon was just for work. He was an expert in Cameroon. His home is in Europe. It made it kind of difficult for me to immediately jump the boat and say, what the hell, let's just get on with it and get married. So I wanted to like take my time. And you know me, girl, like I don't rush things because I like for it to be the Georgette way. It's Georgette time,
Right.
let's say amen to that. I've always got to
Amen.
stand out.
Amen.
So not only that, but I needed to take my time and understand who I was becoming as a fiance because let's face it, girl, all my life, like you said, that joie de vivre, I've never really wanted to settle because I thought, you know, life is different for everyone. There's still a lot of life for me to leave out there before submitting. And I say submitting because when you become either married or you're in a fully committed relationship where maybe you guys
Mhm.
cohabit, there are a lot of things that you give up. And I wasn't ready for that yet. And so I'd fallen in love with this person. And at the time, I was like, well, why not? It's coming up to, I'll soon be 30. Why don't I just, go with it and see how it goes?
Now, Joy, let's just pause there for a little bit because I just want to take stock of a few things. At this point in the journey, you had a career. You were
Yeah,
living in the UK. You had your own place. You had a
yeah,
career. You had
yeah,
friends. You had a community. You've been living there for over a decade. And so your whole life was in the UK. And
exactly.
so this may sound a bit weird for some people because you would have been going back home and he's an expert who's already in your country. So here's
Uh-huh.
what's going on. Georgette is in the UK when there's a student and now is settled in, has a full-time job, a whole life, a whole lot of life actually. And he's an expat, a French expat in Cameroon where he has his whole life. The plan then was get married, and then you would have left your job, your life, your home, your everything, your community, your friends to move back home to be with
Mhm.
your husband. Is
Yeah,
that right?
exactly. That's correct.
All right.
So yeah, talk about compromising, huh?
Big choices, big decisions. Yes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, so that everything went well that December and I came back to the UK 2013, and normally we had our routine where he would come out in February, spend a month with me, and then come back again in the spring. and then we'll meet up in France in the summer for the summer. So he comes over in February of 2013, and he's like, well, now that everything's gone well with the knock door and the traditional, representations and everything, let's talk. When are you moving to Cameroon? So I said, well, it is not official yet. I cannot just get up and leave.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, well, we've done the first two, official, accustoming and bringing the two families together, like trying to, me meeting your family, you meeting my family. So we all acquainted now. Let's move towards the wedding because I cannot leave everything I've worked for here. And girl, I was at the time I was going, you know me, I put my everything into something. I was booming in my career. I was going places. So I cannot
Yeah.
just get up and leave everything here
Everything
and move to
without
Cameroon
time.
because
Mhm.
you said
Mhm.
they poured some wine on my ancestors' graves and that's okay. No, there's got to be more, more assurance, something firm, something solid.
Assurance.
Thank you.
Assurance.
Ah,
That's
ah,
my little
ah,
daddy.
give me
Give me
assurance.
assurance. Okay. I can't
So
yell, so just work with me.
yeah. So obviously, and he agreed to that. Now, when I look back, I'm thinking he reluctantly agreed. Why do I say reluctant? I'll come to that because it feels like he was under the impression that all the formalities had been done when he came in December 2012 and did the whole traditional thing, and that was enough for me to up and leave. He did not realize that I wasn't ready to give up everything just like that. So when I talked wedding and he agreed, he left. When he left that February, he calls me in one of our normal daily calls and he hits me with a prenup. And I'm thinking, oh
Ooh.
yeah, baby, a prenup, it says gold digger. Because I was still up and coming in my career.
You
And
know
I'm
what?
thinking,
Hmm. Let me say this because you and I talked about it then.
yeah,
And I know you were quite upset about it.
very,
And my
very, very
reaction,
upset.
I am not against prenups.
Hmm.
I do think though that they create this sense that the marriage will fail, and so
That is it.
you're getting an insurance
Hmm.
against something that is likely to happen.
Hmm.
But if we look back, real talk, I'm divorced, hon, and so it, I'm one of the statistics, right? In a
Yeah.
way, and the way I don't want to get ahead of your story, but there was something there was something in it for me that I think I had seen enough. And
Okay.
having a legal background, I just felt like he'd worked hard his whole life, and he
Hmm.
has even with his background and his family history, there was something about it that made him think, if this doesn't last, I don't want this woman to run away with all of my money.
Well,
And it's
makes
not,
sense.
yeah, it's not something that I subscribe to. And I think individuals need to really talk about it in their relationships, what that means to them.
Yeah.
Because the way it lands for some people is, if is what you just said, right? If you want a prenup, are you calling me a gold digger? What you trying to say, boo? But but other times I look at myself now and I ask the question, if I were to remarry, um, would I do it? And I don't know. I don't think it's in my spirit to do that. But maybe my way of looking at the world is actually archaic. I'm not one of those people who outright will say no
Uh-huh.
to prenups. And
Uh-huh.
so I think case by case thing. So I know you were upset that day. You called me and I
Yeah.
didn't give you the answer that you wanted, but I wanted to give you an answer that came from a place of see it his way and then see it your way and then see how you can find middle ground.
Hmm. So just touching on that, the reason why I got upset, if I don't know if you remember, it's because he came back with, well, if you want marriage, if you're asking for assurance because you're leaving your life there to come be in Cameroon with me, then I need a counter ask. And I was like, wow, so this is more like a game now. It's like it felt like a contract. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
counteract. So it
Yeah.
felt like a contract. And I had to
Mhm.
ask him, and I said, "You've seen the way I live in the UK. You've been here so many times. Do I look like I lack anything? Everything you've seen in my place, in my house, my wardrobe, my everything, it is, I have worked hard. It is self-made. Do I look like someone who needs more from you? What can you give me that I haven't given myself?" That is how I look
Yeah,
at it.
Georgia.
Seriously. But anyways, moving on. So we obviously we tiffed about it like couples would do, and eventually all calmed down. And yeah, and I agreed. I was like, okay, something's got to give. I put down my proposition, and he's counter asking for a prenup. Prenup it is, because no matter how much I try to talk and say, "You've seen my lifestyle, you've seen this, you've seen that, I did it all by myself, I'm self-made." If I refuse to sign that prenup, it goes to show that maybe I have ulterior motives, or
That,
maybe, yeah,
that's the trap, right? That's
yeah. So I
exactly
felt like, get it out, get it out there. Tell him what you think, get it off your chest, but sign the damn thing. So I signed it. We flew to Paris and I signed it. I was like, sort it done. Anyways,
yeah.
so we started, spring came fast approached as usual. Before we knew it, was summertime, and we started planning for the wedding, and my girls were all over the place, and I had all my childhood friends, including you, yeah, in the bridal train and everything.
Yeah.
And people were flying from all corners. I had people coming from Nairobi, from Germany, from the US, other parts of Africa, South Africa, and all that. It was gonna be big, and his parents were over the moon. I mean, he comes from a divorced family. His mom took to me from day one, and I'm still. Well, up until recently, I was still in touch with the mom. I seen really, his dad was just showing me off to the world, like, they were over the moon. They were like, they couldn't wait. They had invited other family from Geneva, so it was like an international, wedding, to say the least. And so I turned up in Cameroon, 30th of November 2013. I arrived in Cameroon a whole month
Did,
before. I thought
did you
December.
just make, did you just do? Because that's
Oh
what we
yeah,
know.
that's
The
how we
story
know
gets,
that.
that's
That's
how
the
that's
way.
the pivot. The pivot is,
Oh yeah. So I arrived in Cameroon 30th of November. Obviously went straight to his place. He picked me up from the airport, straight to his place. The following morning, I called my mom and said, "Yeah, I'm here, and we will be coming down to Yaoundé soon. I just need to, obviously sit down and enjoy my fiance." So I immediately noticed that he was different. Unlike the last time I was home, he had all these things planned. Baby, let's go to Cribby. Baby, let's do this. Baby, and a Belgian expat friend of mine is hosting something. Let's go. Baby, put on your best outfit, kill them, show them what you got, stuff like that. And this
yeah.
time around, he was cold. He was a bit withdrawn. So I asked myself, I was like, is it the wedding jitters? It must be.
You were like, self, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
What's going on? And this was December 1st. 2nd December, I sent a WhatsApp message to his mom to say, I arrived Cameroon. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. Anything you need, don't forget, let me know. They were also, his mom was over the moon because she had never been to Africa. She, she couldn't stop. Like the moment she got a message from me, she would call and we'll be on the phone forever. Oh, she should bring this. She needs to do that. She was so excited. Bless her, a lovely woman. And then I said to her in the message, I said, "Yeah, I'm home now. I'm ready. Bring it on. Waiting for you guys. Excited. P.S. You need to speak to your son. I think he needs to talk." And so she asked, she was like, "Everything
Mm.
okay?" I said, "Yeah, everything is okay, but I think he needs someone to talk to. I can tell. I'm a woman." And she's like, "Yeah, we're intuitive like that. We've got that thing, right?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So eventually she talked with him. That night, later that night, she said to me, I spoke with my mom and she said it's normal for me to have cold feet. We hadn't even talked about that, but he said that. He was like, she says it's normal for me to have cold feet. Well, I feel a bit
Wait.
reassured.
So he hadn't told you he had cold feet.
He hadn't
But
told me.
following the
He
conversation
figured
with
it
mom,
out. Yeah,
yeah, then he said it's normal for me to have cold feet. But this was the first time that you were hearing it.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So, and that is after I went behind his back and asked his mom to talk with him because I figured it out. So, and I said, "Well, what made you think it's like normal, or what made you want to open up to mom? Because he wasn't, you met him, he wasn't much of a, like most men, a macho man. He wouldn't, he's not very much a kind of opening up to person. He's very
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, an extrovert in that sense. And I said to him, what made you, open up to mom to that extent? And he said, well, she gave birth to me. She's the only woman on earth that I trust. And I was like, fair enough. She is your mother. Amen to that.
Um. Uh,
Yeah.
Hold on. That's a tea drinking moment. Hold on.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me
You
think
sip on
that
that tea,
one.
baby. Sip on it. Sip on that tea.
She's the only woman you trust, and yet you're
Mhm.
about to get
To
married.
marry another. Hmm.
Okay, I'm
So,
still gonna let that one there.
I I quickly learned to pick and choose my battles with him, because there were there was a series of little things and odd comments here and there that never sat well with me. In the beginning, I used to throw tantrums and fits, and then I quickly realized this is his person, this is who he is. They say when you fall in love with someone, you accept them in good and bad, and I know
Yeah.
his habits, and I just thought, yeah, maybe at some point I'll become immune to all of those. And I'll gradually becoming immune to those things. And here's where it's dangerous.
Yes, you were, girl. You
Yeah.
were.
Here's where
Mm.
it's dangerous, because that was by becoming immune to these things, these little things that he was doing that were totally unacceptable and disrespectful, to say the least. I was losing a part of myself into that. For someone like me, being submissive has never been a part of me. That is, I am the most recalcitrant person that you can ever find. Like, I would literally fight everything. Even when the wind blows too hard, I'm like, why? Why the hell do you have to blow that hard? But I found myself, yeah, submitting to these things and accepting that, yeah, it is a part of him. It's a part of this relationship. I've just got to learn how to be immune to these things. And it was wrong. I mean, looking back now, I'm like, wow.
Yeah. But Jor, let me say this because I think I owe it to my guest and my audience to bring a real dose of truth, right, when we have this show. Because if we just wanted to talk about the weather or the latest movie, which I don't know what latest movie there is in quarantine, but if we wanted to just have some fluffy conversation, we could, but that's not what we do at MamaTokTok. It's a different take, right? We go a little bit deeper. So I want to go a little bit deeper, but I want to focus on you, not on him, because
Yeah.
you're the one who's here.
Mm,
And so when you say all these things were changing, you
mm.
were this person you didn't recognize. Why? Why were you? What was it about that situation that was allowing you to change, was causing you to change? And what was it about it that made you accept things that you would normally not accept?
Yeah. It was love, girl. It was love. I got hooked. I got hooked big time. It was love. The four
But
letter
was
word.
it more than love? Was there
It
something
was
about your
love.
mm-hmm.
It was compassion. It was me trying to find myself, trying to
and
adjust
trying to
in
find
this new situation, in this new role I'd never been in before. It was me taking it all in, just trying to make the best out of it. Um, and accepting and counting my losses as I went along.
one
It
thing we
took a lot of
haven't. Mhm.
giving. With us women, finding love or falling in love is never an issue. The issue is that part where we give endlessly. We give and we don't stop. And at some point we give to the point where it actually consumes us. And sometimes it breaks us down.
Yeah.
I think in this situation I gave so much that it consumed me, and I did not even realize that is where I was. Yeah.
And that you say it now, and it takes me back then when you and I used to talk about it because it's a huge part of that for me
Yeah.
that was reflecting on how much about this is not about him. It's about your father. Because we haven't talked about the fact that your beloved father, you were the apple of his eye, you were his princess, his queen, his everything. You lost your father when we were, what,
I was
13?
16. No, 15 at a very tender age. Just becoming a
Just,
big girl.
yeah, so just showing up in the world. You lost
Hmm.
your dad. And there were times when I thought, is that what she's looking for in this particular relationship? And given
That
some of the
was
age
it.
difference,
That
right?
was it. Yeah, the age difference was already something. He was
Yeah,
15 years older than me. And yeah, that was it. I was looking for that father figure subconsciously.
yeah,
Yeah, that security. I needed that daddy security, and I felt that this man could give me that. But
yeah.
yeah, that was it. You touched the nail there. You hit the nail on the head there. That was it. Girl, you know
I,
me too well.
you know, I may know you well because we're friends, but I also think that there's a lot that's said about filling the void that a parent leaves, right? Whether it's a mother who leaves a son's life or a daughter's life and a father. But our parents play such instrumental roles in our lives that when they leave, especially at pivot points in our lives, we go searching, whether we know it or not. So I think at the time, I hadn't quite surmised all of this in my own mind, but you and I were so close, and I was outside the situation, so I could see it for what it was. But you're
Yeah,
in it and you couldn't. Yeah. So let's go. You've given us this really good context, but I want to go back to that phone call that
yeah,
came to me because
yeah.
I can now recount it from my end, and you can say what happened. All
Mm.
I heard when I picked up the phone was doll, doll, doll. I am dead. This man has ruined me. I have broken glass all over. I sat up in bed. I was like, broken glass? What's happening? Why is there broken glass? What's going on? And doll. And I said, okay, what is going on? So what was going on?
So yeah, I called you that well, it was early hours of the morning that day because the night before we had a family priest who was meant to initiate the wedding call up to talk, like all priests would do, some sort of counseling prior to us getting married. And he was very cold towards the priest, and I would say rude because that is our family priest. And he's been a mentor in the family, especially after we lost our dad. So I thought that was disrespectful. So I had to
Yeah.
make excuses. I had to tell the family priest to cut it short because we needed to do some very important stuff.
Mhm.
So came out of that meeting with the family priest, and I confronted him, and I was like, okay, what's going on? What's going on here? And he said to me, he's tired. He's come from work, and then he went to the gym, and he's just exhausted. And I said, that is not it. You better not start effing with me. What's going on? And he kind of beat about the bush, and I went, who is she? Straight up like that. I went, who is she? How old?
Ooh.
And he paused, obviously, on a like it took him. He just did not imagine that I could, go down that road with him. And like, who is she? How old? What's going on? How long has it been going on for? And he didn't know if I was asking because I had evidence or anything. So he literally shot himself and started telling me. It's nothing. It was just a fling. I stopped it. I called it out, but it reminded
Oh
me
my
that we can.
God.
Yeah, it reminded me that we can do this without necessarily getting married. We can live our lives happily together without this whole marriage. I was like, what has that got to do with anything? I've been living my life in the UK restaurant. I am aware. Girl, check me out. I got game. I am aware that I can call the shots. I can have any Tom, Dick, and Harry I want, but I chose you. I chose you. And I was ready to give my life up in the UK for you and move to Cameroon for you. And here you are standing in front of me 3 weeks to our wedding, telling me that you had some fling with some girl and she reminded you that we could do this without getting married. We could live together without getting married. So you can go about having your party and I would sit at home and say, well, at least I'm in his house, ain't I? And I went, no, 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 no. You made a wrong call. And what followed after that was broke. I broke everything inside. Like I could not remember, but I broke everything inside. I remember lifting up glass dining table and it just shattered into. I did not care at that point. Um, but what I remember, because I lost it, I really, I'd never experienced this before. This part of me I didn't know existed. I remember his gatesman rushed up upstairs when he heard all the noise and everything. And I remember him holding me down and trying to calm me down. And I think I had a blackout at some point. I had never experienced anything of the sort. And I pray to God that I never, ever experienced it. It was the lion in me came out. You know, I'm a Leo. The lion, the claws, everything, my mane was up there. The lion in me came out. And this man made that happen. I had never, at that time, I was 31 years old. I had never, ever experienced that before. I had never been to that extent. And I thought, whoa, the devil did bring me. He dragged me out to party. And girl, did I show my ass off. I partied. I
Yeah.
broke everything inside. So obviously I got calmed down and he started crying and I was crying. It was so emotional and he's like, he cannot do this. He's going through a dark phase. There's all he sees is darkness. He doesn't even know how to tell his parents not to come. He cannot go ahead with it. He feels like he's suffocating. I was like, okay, you know what? I can't do that to the man.
You
Let me
can't
take the
do
hit.
what? You can't do what? What
I
did you
can't
do?
do that. Like I can't force him down the aisle with me. I
Mm.
can't force a marriage. If he's not ready, so be it. But then
Yeah.
he keeps saying to me, "This is not over. Let's carry on dating, and then we'll figure this out as we go." And I went, "Nah, you can't have your cake and eat it too. No, ain't gonna happen." So I was like,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna let you deal with that. I'm gonna let you tell your parents." I walked away, went into our bedroom, and I called my mom. It was about 11 p.m. Told her what had happened, and she's like, make your way down to Yaoundé." The following morning, the family priest was coming around for dinner. He had invited the family priest around for dinner, coincidentally. So I said, well, I want to cancel. And he's like, no, I can't do that. The family priest has had to drive from another town. Let's just receive him. So I told my mom I would come down after the family priest had been. So the following day, the family priest came and there were no glasses to serve him with.
Oh, because you had broken all of
So
it.
the housemaid, his housemaid, she had all this food prepared. I was just lying on the couch all day watching movie. I know, actually, I broke the TV, so I was watching stuff on my phone.
You broke the tea.
Yeah, the TV came down. Um,
So,
yeah,
so this,
so
this is part. This is the part in the show where I
mhm.
do a PSA and I say, "Here, at MamaTokTok, we don't support violence of any kind." In this case, though, and I say that in seriousness, but also I recognize something that you said, which was, I don't know where that came from in me. I have never done anything like that.
Mhm.
It sounded like when you called me, you told me that my eyes popped because I thought that is unbridled rage. But I
Mhm.
want to talk about what was underneath that because it's never just anger, it's never just rage. And I have come to understand that the thing that sits underneath anger, the thing that buoys it up, is pain. It's
Mhm.
pain. It's excruciating pain. That pain that breaks your inside, and that pain that crushes you in a way that you just can't contain it, and therefore it manifests in this outward rage,
That
right?
was it. That was it.
Let's go there because you've talked about what happened. I went here, we broke this. It's a lot of physical stuff happening, right?
Yeah.
By the end of the day, in that moment when you heard those words about, let's forget about the there's always a red, to me, that's a red herring, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When you think about what you heard with the, I am not ready to commit to you on a one-to-one basis. We can just live together and kind of see how this goes. When you heard that, George, what happened to your heart? Where was your heart? Where were your feelings?
I felt like I was in a dream actually. My heart stopped. I felt my insides were exploding. Oh yeah. I felt like there was a volcano. A volcano suddenly erupted inside of me. I honestly, I can't put this. I don't know. I can't put it in words exactly how I felt. All I
Yeah.
know is, you know, even after I lost my dad, at least my dad had cancer. He was ill, so we were getting ready. It hurt. It hit me. You know how close I was to him. But hearing these words hurt from a different angle a lot more. I didn't only feel guilt, I felt betrayed. I felt the betrayal. The betrayal is what was eating me up. It was the betrayal. Yeah. Yeah. Because this is me, this girl. I've made it. I have made it. I'm proud to say that I've made it. Everything I've built, done, my own two hands, without ever having to have, fortunate enough not to have some guy bring me drama, because you do have some girls who get completely thrown off their course of life because of men's drama. And I managed to escape that till I was 30. And then I thought to myself, unfortunately, being African, we have this pressure where your family is like, you're turning 30, you're going into your 30s now. We don't hear about a man. And I'm thinking, okay, that is one other thing. It was all the pressure from my family. I remember my uncle referring to me as Siberia, a very beautiful country with less inhabitants because it's extremely cold. And I thought,
Oh
hot
my
damn. I
gosh,
know
these
how
words are
that
hard. I've
that
heard
is
a lot
hard.
of
But
them in Siberia.
yeah,
Ooh,
he said
yes,
that. He was like,
okay.
you
Siberia.
are so,
Okay.
yeah. He said you were so independent for your own, it's not good for you. No man wants to be intimidated by a woman like that. At some level you need to submit, you need to bow down and say, yeah, let a man take control. But
Yeah.
yours is damaging because you make a man feel like he cannot bring anything to you that you haven't been able to bring to yourself. And I was like, well, damn right. And he's like, well, that is why I refer to you as Siberia, this beautiful country with very, very limited inhabitants, because the weather scares people away. I was like, oh, so I scare people away. And he's like, no, obviously me trying to express that, but it didn't change the fact that what had happened, and I was hurting, I was betrayed, I was forget everything. For someone so confident, I felt, like I was done. I had nothing. I had no. If a man can do that to me, a whole me, forget it. I got nothing. That confidence is just some wishy-washy
Yeah.
illusion in my brain. It is not real. I'm surely I'm not that confident. I mean, I wasn't able to pull him, so duh. But yeah,
Yeah.
it made me question myself. Why me? I gave everything I could. I did everything he wanted. I did everything, even the things that I didn't want. I did because I was like, it's all about compromising. My mom sat me down and lectured me the year before when we did the knock door. And my mom told me what, marriage is all about, and how sometimes you just have to, accept, that it is not your word, it's not about you anymore, it's about you and this other person. But I was going in there wanting to make sure that it was established that it is also about me as much as it is about him. Gone are those days when our parents were like, yeah, I'm just gonna suck it up, you know, this we didn't know any better. This is how we were raised. This was my time and I was bent on making a difference. So thinking about all of that, I felt like I failed myself massively. I felt like that mission, yeah, it fell through. I felt like a failure. I did. And I remember when I was expressing all of this to you, you said, well, do not blame yourself. You have nothing, to blame yourself for. You've done nothing. The problem lies with him and beyond. It is not you. But how can you not feel that way? You know?
Yeah. And that is hard because when I say that to people, they say it's a cop out. Of course it's about me. Of course it's about me. And
Mhm.
what I try to say is, yes, in every relationship, there are going to be dynamics between the two people that trigger things in each other. But at the moment when you take responsibility for
Mhm.
someone's decision to cancel a wedding,
Mhm.
what in the world?
Are you
We
thinking?
have choice. We have free choice. And I think what I was trying to tell you then was, yes, you all may have had issues and you may have had your challenges, but you're not the first couple to have challenges. At the
Exactly.
point where a person makes a decision, it's their decision. That's what I was trying to convey to you. We can all stand up in any relationship, romantic, work, filial, and recognize that I contributed X to the stew, and I considered added Y to the cake. But at the end of the day, what you do, what I added Jansa and I added Maggie, at
Maggie.
the end of the day, who stirs that pot and what they ultimately put in it and serve out has to take responsibility for it. And at that
Yeah.
time, I was far away. I was in the US and I was trying to hold you up
Yeah.
from all that distance. So all you and I had was the phone. And I think we spoke every single day for like a
Every day. And
month.
sometimes we talked 4 times a day. You
Exactly.
were calling, and I remember your mom in the background saying, "Girl, keep your chin up." I remember mom. Yeah, you called mom,
Yeah.
and mom was in the
Yeah.
background. I think you guys were in the kitchen, and your
Yeah.
mom kept saying, "Keep your chin up, girl. Keep your chin up." And I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? I've lost, but I still have love. So I had you guys.
Never end. And
Oh
my
yeah.
job, I had two jobs primarily as your friend. In
Mhm,
addition to listening to you and just being there, I
mhm.
felt like my job was to try to get you to see beyond the pale. I needed you to see that there is something after
Go on, don't
this.
do that.
And and in that moment, you couldn't see it because
No.
here was pain, here was hurt, here was canceled wedding. And the other thing I want to talk about is which weighed on you tremendously was shame.
Oh yeah. Them go talk say.
So talk to me about that.
So funnily, I didn't think about what they, as in people outside of my circle, would say. Because truth be told, I think I'm what we like to call in Pidgin a dry head, sangler.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do what I want to do, irrespective of what anybody outside my friendship zone would think. I.e., I have a close circle of friends. I can count down to five of you guys, you included, five. Very close circle of friends. To me, it is important to take these people's opinions into consideration when I'm doing something. Somehow, to me, it matters. Their opinion matters. The way it comes across to them and it reflects on our friendship matters to that extent. Now, outside of that circle and my family, anyone else, je m'en fous. And to your MamaTokTok fans, it means I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care. So when this happened, the first thing I did was call each and every one of you in my circle individually, gave you a heads up. That
Mm-hmm.
was it. After speaking with my family, obviously my brothers were all over me, it's fine, it's fine. My mom was like, yeah, I never liked him anyway, it's fine. And I felt confident. I felt comfortable. And another thing, I did not feel any pressure at that time in terms of shame was because I was home with mom.
Yes.
I was home with mom.
Yes.
And you know what mom said to me? My beautiful daughter, I want you out of this house every night. Party, party until you know that you still have life. You have a lot to look forward to. And I did that. I partied a lot. So it kept me, kind of distracted. Now, I was in Cameroon for all of 6 weeks. After all of this happened, I stayed in Cameroon because that was the plan. I was unable to change my ticket to come back earlier or sooner. I couldn't be bothered. I needed to be around people. When I came back to the UK, that is where
Mm,
reality sunk in. That is where
mm.
reality hit me. I came back to a quiet, empty, lonely apartment. I had
And it
packed
was
up,
winter in London.
and it was
We all
winter.
have
I came back in
sunny days,
January.
but joyful.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I thought I would escape by going to work and not focusing. I had to change my number. So the first move was changing my phone number, my UK number. That is how I knew that, yeah, no, that shame part has hit me. I've come
Yes.
back. I've come back to my world, and I do
Why
not
did
know
you
how
change
to.
your number?
So I changed my number for two reasons. One, obviously, I didn't want contact with him. Secondly, I did not want anybody, because there were people, obviously, like everyone else, who has my number, not necessarily being a close friend. I knew that by the time I came back to the UK, they would have heard, because bad news spreads fast. I knew that. But I did not want any Tom, Dick, and Harry getting on the phone, pretending to be empathetic, because all they want to do is hear it from the horse's mouth and spread some more. So I had to do that damage control. I changed my number. I thought that focusing on work was going to help. It didn't. My manager, luckily I had a very good manager. She she could tell. She said to me, I don't know, whatever personal issues you're having, it is translating. You've lost a ton of weight. You're not working well, you're not focusing. Your emails, your emails that are outstanding, that is your trademark. Your emails are coming across blank now. Can you take some time off? So I went in. I took 3 months off work. And during those 3 months, I traveled around trying to make the most of it. I
Was
remember
that part of
even,
the time when we met up in
yeah, we started, yeah, we
Paris? Was it?
incorporated everything: Paris, Germany, Vienna, and there was Italy. I just,
Maybe there
yeah,
was
because I called you and I
Cologne.
was like, I don't think I can do this traveling all by myself. I need
I
company.
remember that. So you came back, empty
Hmm.
apart, you change your number,
Hmm.
you in a way go into hiding.
Yeah, I went into hiding. I needed,
And
I
that's when
needed that.
you needed the silence, but that's also when the shame starts to come in. And
Yeah.
when we talked about it, and I remember you saying, you were doing all these things, and I said, I completely understand why you don't want to talk to people, and no one has ownership to your life, right?
Hmm.
But the thing that I kept wondering was, why are you ashamed? What did you do?
I think it's a normal, it's that question, is that when something fails you, when you experience disappointment, although it's nothing to do with you, it was not your fault, you cannot help but feel like you did something wrong. Otherwise, why would it have happened to you? Because all I kept asking myself is, why me? What did I really do? At that point, I wasn't thinking what people were saying. I couldn't be bothered what people had concluded, because I knew even if we had gotten married then and everything had gone, there always would have been something to talk about,
Yeah,
idle mind. But at that moment, it was more about me. What did I do? So like you would know, I keep going back to make an emphasis on this. I am self-made, so which means I beat myself up really hard when
yeah,
things don't go as planned. Of course, I need to have a plan B, but when it comes to love, girl, it's not like I'm gonna have a Johnny on the side waiting that, oh, if it doesn't work out with this one, I'll come running to you. No, it doesn't work like that. When it comes to love, it's different. So there was no plan B because I went all in. I am passionate. I am a typical Leo. I went all in. No stones left unturned. And so
yeah,
it hit me in the face. It hit
yeah.
me in the face
It was
like,
like,
whoa. Yeah. And destabilized me for that minute. I mean, I didn't crumble, but I fell. I did
yeah.
not crumble to pieces, but I fell. And Lord, if anybody knows anything about a Leo, when your ego is bruised,
Ooh.
yeah, my ego was bruised. My ego,
You, you're
yeah,
like a wounded lion, and so
that is it.
uh,
And I felt like I couldn't fight. There was nothing. What was I fighting here? That was because I'm so used to fighting. I'm so used to making it happen. I'm like, I'm not going to stop. I just keep pushing. But at this moment, what am I fighting? What am I fighting? Or who am I fighting with? And most importantly, what am I fighting for? Because all
Or
I live for is my purpose. I have a purpose. If I am going or engaging in a fight, or if I think this calls for a fight, don't just let it go. Fight for it. It is with purpose. There is a, a game plan at the end of it. Like, what am I gonna achieve? But what was the purpose here? What was I fighting for? So I was lost. I felt disarmed completely. I felt thrown off my zone of comfort. My ego was bruised in all shapes and forms, and I just felt useless. And all of that hit my self esteem. And that's why I became withdrawn, and I refused to have contact with anybody. Like any lion, you get wounded, what do? You run away and you just hide. You don't want to, like, you don't want, because you're so used to being in control and helping straighten up situations that when you lose that balance, you feel useless. And that is how I felt, so withdrawn. I would not speak to anybody. I did. Only two people had my number in the UK, and that
yeah,
was it. Yeah. So I did not want to talk to anybody until such time, because I kept saying, when I'm done licking my wounds, then maybe, you know, there will be hope. But for now, I just need that time by myself. I was not built to break. Oh, yeah.
that
I
is
would tell anybody right now who tries to shaken my words, so to speak, I would laugh, literally laugh, as opposed to back then. I'll probably be like, how do I put my defenses up? What do I do now? I just look at you and I say, boy, or girl, you weren't born. Check me out. I was not built to break. Oh,
Mm.
yeah, no rush, no long things, like Jamaicans would say. It's just a simple, plain and simple, one sentence. Make it clear. I was not built to break. There is nothing in this world that would make me get there. Nothing. After going through that journey I went through, nothing.
Yeah, there's a way that things being snatched away from us, and the humiliation and shame and judgment that comes from that can
Hmm.
really make us broken. Once you go down, if you're able to pick your head up again, there is
That's
something
it.
that happens to your courage and your confidence and your core. It's together now, you're in sync, and you can face the world head on. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me about the role of motherhood in on this journey for you. What role has being a mother brought into your life? What does it change? If anything.
It has given me so much control. I am so like the whole, when we talk about empowerment, mm, the fact that you actually bring life into the world, and then you're able to make that happen in such a way that it's comfortable for not just yourself, but even for people around you. And you're still keeping it together, going about your business, still, putting that food on the table, still getting all Gucci'd up and Chanelized and reigning in all the products.
I need to
You
get you
know,
more designers. You keep talking about Gucci up and Chanel Light. I need to get you more designers that are not all Western designers.
I know, but that is me. I've got to be real. That's me.
But that is
Yeah.
you. That is you. I saw your when I visited you. I think it was 2 years ago.
Mm.
I saw your top shelf where you keep your handbag. I was like, girl, oh, girl of mine. What a one, right? But you know what? I love that what you just said is that's me.
Yeah.
I love that. And you've always just owned it. You've always owned it, flaws, glories, and all. You've always said, "Me voila,
Yeah.
you want or you don't want." I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Straight up. And if anything, motherhood has made me realize I have a love. I have the assured love, guaranteed. The love from someone that I never need to doubt or ask myself or question. It is a kind of love that is, it's never going to be sufficient. It is an endless kind of love that no words are enough to describe.
Yeah.
For me, that's enough. I don't need anybody else trying to, if you, okay, additional love, that's fine. But as long as it comes with no drama, I'm good. Because in this
Mm.
space right now, I am all about being a role model for my child. And I can
And
only
you
do
have
that
fun.
yeah, and I can only do that with a peaceful mind, with a very set mind frame, as in there needs to be harmony and peace and love overflowing for that child to know that he is being raised and brought up in a loving environment where love reigns. I don't need an outsider to come in and shake in that world or try to make me feel like I'm lacking somewhere because right now I'm not. I've got all what I need right here, right now. You know, it's always good for a bonus, but I'm not gonna try to turn my peaceful world into something else for want of something that may not even be worth it. So
Yeah.
if anything, motherhood has just reassured me I'm good. I am fine where I am. I'm happy, I'm peaceful, and I'm content. You know, never been this better. Life is actually good, you know?
And I
Yeah,
love what we're talking today. I love the fact that you said from the moment Cohen came into your life, into your womb,
yeah,
doors just opened. It's
yeah,
as if a staircase to this different world just
yeah.
opened and it kept going. And I just thought that was so beautiful because
Mm.
the one thing that you wanted out of life more than anything else, more than a marriage, more than a career, was a
With a
child.
baby. Yeah,
And boy, do you have one heck of a little boy there. Oh my
yeah.
God. Oh my
I always
God.
wanted to be a mother. I always wanted to be a mother because those just, I don't know, it is something words cannot describe. It is a whole other,
But I'm so appreciative that you took the time to talk us through what that pain was
yeah,
and being down there with you so that we needed to climb out
yeah,
bit by bit to climb out with you and to see
yeah.
where you are now, blossoming, gorgeous, an amazing career, and just Cohen is just beautiful, happy child, you know. So thank you so much. And by the way, I had to get in shape for this. I was not about to be outdone on my own show because you bring it. You're like, listen. I'm.
Girl,
You told me, I said, like, listen. I was ready to slay. I'm like, she's not. I can't believe
you,
this.
girl,
This
you
slay
didn't
is
even
not
need
gonna
to
happen
go to
without
make an effort. You didn't need to make an effort. You slay like rent is due every second. You slay. So
me.
you
Well,
carry on slaying. Carry on slaying. Playing is what we do best. Playing in everything you do, whatever you put your mind into, you do play. So keep coming
thank
through.
you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This was it was nice to talk about this, not just anytime. Girl, I want to commend you on this. Keep doing this, keep, breaking through, bringing people together because these are the type of things, the topics that are discussed in this Mama Talk Talk podcast. This is what brings people together because people can relate, different stories. People go through different things, scenarios in their lives. And it is worth talking about it. It is worth shining the light on some of the
Yeah,
complexities that we face in this journey called life. So thank you
yeah.
very much. And you know where I am anytime.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please share your thoughts in the comments below or email us at ab@mamatoktok.com. Continue the conversation in your homes and communities. And when you join us next week, invite a friend or many. For more diverse perspectives on everyday issues from everyday people around the globe, subscribe to our podcast at mamatoktok.com/a different take. And join our online family by following us on Twitter and Instagram. Until we meet again, I'm your host, AB Mambo. Sigashina, stay well.